mean, I like a lot of, like, depends on if I'm wrestling or if I'm lifting weights or if I'm going for a run. Because it's like I have playlists for all of it. But I'd say like my overall what I listen to all the time is R&B, and then like for working out, if I'm wrestling or if I'm like fighting or whatever, I like to listen to old school rock, and then if I'm lifting, I like to listen to a little bit of rap. So it's a combination, honestly, a little bit of everything.
Now, what do you drive around to?
I'd probably country, actually. Yeah, I legit, because I'm around different clients all day, and when I get around my kids and I get around, my wrestlers and I get around all these different people, I'll listen to playlists depending on the situation, and, I try not to get too crazy where I just listen to all one thing, because a lot of people don't like old school rock when they're wrestling, and I don't want to be that guy that like puts in everybody's face. But I've been open to everything. I've been around to a lot, so I listen to everything.
Yeah, if I meet somebody and they only listen to one kind of music, I mentally kind of think of them a little different, because I'm like, do you not just try to embrace everything? Because whatever you're listening to has a little bit of this, it has a little bit of that. Everything is kind of becoming a melding pot of everything, which is a good thing, because, there's so much good music out there, and especially, like you said, old rock, hip hop, R&B, even there's a lot of good country. Yeah, there's that Nashville pop country, but there's also some really good, like, Sturgill Simpson or guys like that are legit country guys that put out a lot of really good music.
Yeah, I'm taking my oldest daughter. Her birthday is on the 4th, and I'm taking her to Morgan Wallace down in Houston.
Oh,
cool. It's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you have mentioned that you have kids. You're a married man with 4 daughters. What's the key to balance of time when it comes to training, work, family time? Like, what is your balance like?
Shit, man, I don't know. I just kind of make it up as I go. It's kind of like, I think I have it figured out, and I think I'm doing, everything I possibly can the right way, and then, something will blow up in my face. So I kind of take it every day. But I like, no matter what, like, I do my training completely around whatever my daughter's schedules are, because they all do sports. And I never miss any games. I don't miss any practices or anything like that. So I make sure that whatever training I have to do, I do it around their schedule, because I want them to do whatever they want, and I can easily manage my schedule pretty like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and then same with my wife. Like, she does everything around the girls, so we kind of like we get that time together when we're watching them do sports and things like that, and then we get to go work out together or do whatever like that. So it's definitely it's a busy life, but it's manageable.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people out there that would see your situation like, oh man, you're married with 4 daughters, like you got a house full of estrogen, but then you go work out and you're around a bunch of testosterone dudes. So I imagine that balance for you is still there.
Yeah, no, it's a very good balance, and it's a much needed balance. Like, even if I wasn't a fighter, like, I have a lot of clients that aren't fighters by any means, but they have real stressful jobs, or they have crazy newborn babies that screams all the time or whatever, and when they come in, it's like that's their time. So no matter what, I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. Just to have that thing. But yeah, definitely a good balance.
That's awesome. Well, if wrestling didn't come in your life, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Probably be a plumber, because I know how to do that really well, and I would be building houses. That'd be about it. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's like, because I have all my buddies that I grew up with, and they're working, they have a family, they have success, and their career choice and everything. So either way, I would be okay. And if I stayed in the same town, I would have been okay. But it's like I think everybody does it different, but you all kind of end up in the same spot.
Right. So what fighters do you watch and are kind of inspired by?
I know, he gets a bad rep sometimes, but Conor McGregor, he's got a, really good drive and really good mindset for in a lot of ways. He's, like if you're any kind of, entrepreneur, you have a business or you have anything like that, like you can learn how to respect the hustle and to see everything that he does, kind of make it big, from his whiskey to every fight he has to, everything he does is big. So I respect him a lot. I know he's an idiot too, but I respect him a lot. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I kind of look up to. I don't really have anyone that I'm not a hater, so I can't really think of anyone that I hate, but I can think of a lot of guys that, I really look up to in a lot of ways. And, I just like going through all the, you're fighting for scrap money. If that's all you do, you're not going to make a good living from it if that's all you do. And so I see a lot of guys that, hustle outside of fighting. And, I've kept up with a lot of people with their, either real estate investments or they've opened their own gym or things like that. And that's kind of motivated me to, keep driving outside of fighting for, I'm opening my gym and, I've done the whole buy and sell houses and things like that. So it's just nice to, get around all their success. And there's a lot of guys in the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think enough spotlight gets put on guys, what they're doing outside of the cage, outside of the gym, because like you said, like look at Conor McGregor. Again, like you said, he's done some real dumb things, but who hasn't? He just happens to have a much bigger spotlight on him to fuck up for when he does fuck up, it gets real bad. But he challenged himself by going out and fighting Floyd Mayweather, which is arguably, again, somebody who has made a lot of bad choices and a lot of bad decisions in his life, but is arguably one of the greatest boxers of all time. And he went out and made a truckload of money just off one fight. And then, like you said, with his whiskey, like, that's going outside of your quote-unquote lane and figuring out another way to make money. And, whether I look forward to this fight and this next season of The Ultimate Fighter because Michael Chandler's been calling him out for a while. They've both been calling each other out for a while. I mean, obviously, Conor looks to be a little bit bigger than he normally does, but he's got at least until September to shed down and cut some certain supplements out of his diet. But he is an incredible fighter. What he did against Jose Aldo, no one ever did before, and we haven't seen the same Jose afterwards. Like, he went in, said exactly what he was going to do, and did it. And, like, no one sells fights like Conor McGregor. And that's why no matter how many times or how long he could be out of the cage, as soon as he steps back in that cage, everyone's buying it because Conor McGregor's on that world tour of talking shit, selling fights, and that's just what he does. And so, I mean, that's not a bad guy to look up to when it comes to what to do in and out of the cage. So I fully understand. Now, what is your favorite cheat meal when it comes to, like, 'cause I imagine you eat pretty clean while you're training. What do you like to indulge in?
I eat clean like year round, and then after my fights, I always have a cheeseburger the same night that I fight, and then the next day I always have donuts, and then maybe like a day or two after that, I have a couple of small cheat meals like pasta or something like that. But I'd definitely say donuts is the first thing I go to.
Do you have a favorite kind of donut, or do you like the voodoo donut?
No, I'm kind of boring. I just like straight up glaze. It's my favorite, but I like cinnamon rolls and glaze. That'd be the two things I like the most.
I mean, they're classics. They're classics for a reason. So.
Yep.
Now, obviously, you mentioned you train a lot. What do you do mentally to help kind of wind down and get your mind right as well?
I like to do a lot of work with the kids, and I like to either be at my kids, being at their games or seeing their energies and stuff, and having to match that. That's a good way for me to kind of forget about all the things that are bothering me and help them out or help them get through whatever. But I'd say like when I'm in that position where I'm fighting to mentally make it to practice and be on point is like when I have to tell the kids to do this. I got to be on point. If I'm telling them this, I've got to be on point. So I just know that like when it's time to go, it's time to go. It's time to kick it in gear. And I have a lot of people watching me, so that's why it sucks to lose. That last fight was it was rough because it was right there at the end of my season. So we were about to go to state the week that I was gone. We had a tournament, and then the next week we had a regional tournament. The week that I lost, we had a regional tournament, and then they went to state the following week. So it was a rough loss because I know I have so many kids watching me. So if they see me in the room and I'm working hard, then they work hard, and then I feed off their energy. So a lot of times that's what drives me.
I mean, as much as you might be kicking yourself about that one, that coming off a loss is not a bad thing. You learn something, and you can then build on top of that to be even better and know what to do, what not to do next time. So I think that's another lesson you really could take that and implement into your kids about how, hey, you could do everything perfect throughout the entire training. Everything's on point. You could be feeling perfect as soon as you get on that mat or enter that cage or in a ring or whatever, but it could not go your way. So you have to know how to move on from that, accept it, and then learn from it and keep going and being better.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, it's rough, but it's got to be done, got to be done. It's not easy, but it definitely has to be done.
Yes. Now, are you a coffee person?
Coffee, yeah.
How do you take your coffee?
No, I like it. Most of the time I just like it straight, just, straight black coffee. That, sometimes I have like sweet milk, I'll put some sweet milk in it, but, honestly, I just like it straight.
Okay, there you go. Now, this is the Brewsers podcast, so I have to ask, if you owned a brewery, winery, or a liquor company, what would the name be?
Damn, that's a tough one. I'm pretty chill outside of fighting, so.
Oh.
I don't know what, shit, that's a tough one, damn. I can't even think of anything off the top of my head.
Well, I guess which one would it be first? Would you own a brewery, a winery, or a liquor company?
Oh, it'd definitely be a brewery. I just don't know what, and I like Dos Equis, like pretty chill stuff, like, nothing, I don't like all the IPA crap.
Now, Mexican lagers are fantastic, I get it.
Yeah, I like the lager stuff. I don't know, man. I'd probably call it Cabo. It's like one of my favorite places to go, so I'd probably call it Cabo.
There you go. Love that. Now, if people wanted to find you online, watch your fights, follow your career, how can they do so?
Well, I have all my social media is Damon B. Jackson. It's the same on everything. And I don't really do a whole lot on there, but I always try to respond to everyone that messages me. But I don't really post a lot. I do a lot of story stuff, but I don't really do a whole lot of posts. And then, obviously, like, the Fight Pass is the way to go. If anybody's a UFC fan, they should be, on Fight Pass because you can watch every single fight that the UFC's ever had. So, it's a pretty cool place. You can look up everything from there.
Yeah, not only UFC stuff, but there's so much, like, jiu-jitsu stuff. They're promoting other other companies that aren't UFC, obviously that aren't also Bellator or ONE, but like you said, Fight Pass has, if you're a fight fan of any sort, they got everything you want on there. You could literally just spend the rest of your weekend, never leave the house, and just be happy watching Fight Pass.
Yep.
Well, Damon, thank you so much for talking to us. I look forward to seeing what your gym looks like when you open it up, what your next fight looks like, and what the rest of your career looks like.
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate the support.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
All right. Talk to you later.
thank you so much to Damon for being on the show. Again, if you are in the DFW area, make sure to go by Fortis MMA Lakeside, which is in Rockwall, Texas. Also, while you're out there, go visit Siren Rock. It's a wonderful brewery. Go afterwards. I highly doubt you want to go do a BJJ class or a wrestling class over after you've been to a brewery. So just saying. Also, make sure to check out the fight night that is happening August 5th, where Damon will be facing Billy Corandillo. So it should be a fantastic fight. Make sure to tag us and find us on social media while you're watching the fights or having a beer or doing both. So make sure to follow us. It is Brewsers Pod. That is BREWSCRSPOD on the Instagram